They're starting to grow. I think it's even time for a transplant. Can we save these little ones? Find out on the next episode of Dragon Ball K. Alright, so first of all, the amount of comments that I received on the 100 subscriber special, holy crap. So many great suggestions for future content, and by far the number one most requested kind of video is a vlog / Q&A. Without having many questions, I'll definitely use this as an opportunity to plug my Twitter, linked below, and right here. Any question you would like to ask me, please put it on Twitter, and I will make a video answering all of those questions, and we'll have a great Q&A session. But I'm going to take you guys along with me today in a day in the life. Today is a Saturday, so this is generally what I might do on a weekend, since I work during the week. I also work on the weekends. I have many jobs. Many hats, I suppose. I don't get paid for all the jobs that I do, but I do them nonetheless because they pay my soul. But thanks for coming along on the ride with me today. So I don't always grow plants. I think given my profession, everyone would think that, oh yeah, you must be good at plants. No, I have a black thumb. But a couple months ago, I wanted to grow some veggies. So I went and bought some seeds and put them in little containers. And as you saw, they've all started to sprout. And now it's about time to transplant them. So this isn't a normal occurrence for me. This is sort of just a side thing that I'm doing right now. I think in my horticulture class in college, I killed everything that I was meant to grow, even by following all the rules. I think plants just don't like me. Maybe, I don't know. It's that black thumb. I kill everything that I touch. But it seems to be going pretty well so far. So, yeah, let's see if we can find some little container pots. All right, got some container plants, got some soil. Let's take these home and give these little seedlings a new home. Hopefully they survive that transplant. We'll see in a few days, I suppose. Okay, after a quick cleanup, now we're heading back out. I got a couple other errands to run, and we're gonna head back into the studio because I got some work I'm working on that I'll share with you guys. So this project that I'm working on, it's, I don't know if you guys know the Punisher, Clint from Corridor Digital, formerly of Corridor Digital, I suppose. He's recently put out a community challenge, the Alternate Realities community challenge, and it's the template is just a flat plane with a character walking and a big sphere in the background. And the challenge is to, create a render. It's a short animation using those elements. The sphere can be anything, the ground can be anything, the character kind of looks like it's carrying something. It can carry something. But the challenge is to create that animation. But I downloaded all the material, and I was sitting at my computer, kind of just looking at a base render. And when we get back into the studio, I'll show you. But I probably sat there for an hour. I didn't doodle anything. I didn't sketch. I didn't, collage anything together yet. But kind of found myself like, what do I do with it? And it was actually, I realized that it was really empowering, because a lot of the times the hardest part of, creating new content, new art is that initial inspiration. What is it? And thankfully, with this kind of challenge, there are limits imposed on the project itself. For me, I know for a lot of designers, but for me, I do really well with those kinds of limitations. And very often, even if I am solely responsible for the design concept itself, I find that creating self-imposed limitations actually really helps the creative process. You could say, I want to create a landscape scene. All right, cool. There's probably an infinite number of landscape scenes that you could create. Depending on your workflow, the environment of the scene itself, the tools you might be using, all that kind of stuff. But if you were to say, I'm going to create a post-Anthropocene utopian cityscape scene on Europa. Those are some, more self-imposed limitations. And then you can say, I'm not going to model any of the assets. I'm only going to kit bash what I already have. It's another level of self-imposed limitations. And of course, because they're self-imposed, they're kind of easy to break, right? It's, if you're holding yourself accountable, the only person you have to disappoint is yourself. I find those kinds of limitations really liberating. So to sort of make a long story short, I was really thinking about, okay, what is this thing? So the ground plane and the walking character, cool, that's fine. But it was the sphere up in the sky that, my first instinct was, oh, okay, cool, it's a background planet. And then I thought to myself, well, I've seen that's been done. Not that I couldn't make it interesting, but there's something else. And so I think that I had a really cool idea that I'm happy to share with you guys, and I'll show you in just a moment. But yeah, why don't we just cut over to the studio? Well, in my time, I'm gonna have to drive home. But through the magic of editing, it'll be instant, and we'll arrive. We'll arrive on my Photoshop screen, and I'll sketch out my idea. We'll see what we can do with that. All right, everyone, we're back in here. Let's take a look at what I was talking about with that with the Punisher challenge. Does everyone like my new background? It's based on Blender Guru's Planet tutorial. I'm actually working on an animated sequence including space stations and ships and rotating planets. So we'll see when and how that comes together. If I open Blender really quick, this is the animation that you're meant to do. These are kind of just the bare bones. So of course I'm gonna map another character mesh on top of this rig here. What I did, if I go to Photoshop, I just rendered out the first scene to try to give myself some idea of how I wanted to, go about doing this. And let's just sketch some stuff on top of here. And like I had said, the first thing I thought of was, this being a planet, and this person kind of just, hauling some stuff, because it's kind of, set up that way. I think in Clint's challenge himself, he's got some buildings in the background, and it's cool. The things that he's going through are pretty cool. And there's a couple of layers of buildings in the background, and I think he's got like another row of them here. Obviously, they're bigger. But he's got some cool parallax where, the front moves just a little bit, or I guess the front moves a lot, and then the middle ground moves a little bit more, and the background shifts a lot more. So he's kind of animating these layers to where that parallax, there's foreground, middle ground, background, and they're all moving at different speeds in relation to that camera. But what I was thinking, you can let me know what you think, is this back here, this spherical element. I'm thinking this should be a black hole. And I have an idea of what I want it to look like. There's definitely, I think actually, Blender Guru has a black hole tutorial based on the interstellar black hole. And so what I'm thinking is, I'm not quite sure what the environment is. Maybe some kind of industrial space platform, or even a city. Maybe even just like a typical suburb, right? Because that would be super weird, to see just someone's house and oh, here's my little gate, and here's my garage. Here in my garage. Right, just some symbol of a house, right? But this character, walking down the street, and I hate when it doesn't do that. Does anyone else's Wacom brush not switch to eraser when you flip it to the eraser side? Maybe I need to upgrade. But in this case, okay, so yeah, maybe it's this suburb. But I was thinking of having a series of particle systems. Big, small, maybe even, another house. Being pulled towards the black hole. And so the way that this, this person is kind of carrying something, I'd imagine that it's, this big, like, heavy something. I'm not sure what. Maybe like some industrial print, like 10,000 tons. That this person is carrying to weigh them down to avoid them getting, pulled in by the black hole. Right? That ain't gonna happen because you got a big old heavy thing on your back. And then of course the ground, is a series of right, here's like the curb. Sidewalks getting pulled up. All these chunks and debris. Maybe some of them are floating a little bit. Maybe there's another house here that the foundation has been broken and kind of just like balancing to the point where maybe we understand that this thing that this person is carrying is heavier than a house because whole houses are getting pulled towards this black hole. The background can be spacey. Got some middle ground elements, maybe some shrub assets without the leaves. So maybe it's just something like that. Yeah, but just really using this as like a vector vanishing point, right? Because this is more or less a 1 point perspective, but this being sort of our action vanishing point, where everything in the scene is going right there. So that's kind of my concept, and I'm hoping that I can pull that off. And so definitely when that's finished, I'll share that with everyone, and you can see. Whether I make the deadline or not, I think I'm still going to finish this scene because there's a lot of things here that I've actually never done before. I've never done an animation with a character. I've never used a rig. Anything that I've ever animated has just been keyframe animated with noise modifiers. But I've never used a skeleton rig on a character. Thankfully, I don't have to, do the animation because I've tried it and I'm definitely not good at it. But yeah, I got to find a character. I've got to model a black hole. I've got to model a suburban street, which shouldn't be too hard. I could even probably just recreate my street outside. I'm excited for this. So I'm actually going to get started working on this right now. Yeah, let's see what we can do.